When I was 25, I was working in a store and not making millions, and I guess you're somewhere in between that also. But there are some folks who have been counting millions since 19. Yeah. Well, not to discourage you or downplay your earnings, but some young lads are already billionaires, and it may come as a shock that many of them are below the age of 30. Yeah, you heard that right, below 30. So who are the top 10 youngest billionaires in 2022? Let's find out. At number 10, Gustav Magnar Wiese. He's 29 years old and has $3.3 billion. 29-year-old Gustav Magnar Wiese is the promoter of SalMar ASA, one of the world's largest salmon producers. The Norwegian holds close to a 50% stake in it. His father founded SalMar and also owns a significant stake in Scottish Sea Farms, the United Kingdom's second-largest salmon farmer. In 2013, Wiese's dad gifted him the majority share of the company, which was founded by him more than 3 decades ago in 1991. That has to be one of the most valuable gifts ever, right? Gustav still manages the business operations of the company while his son is investing in real estate and tech startups. At number 9, Gary Wang, 28 years old, $5 billion. New to the youngest billionaires list in 2022 is Gary Wang, the co-founder and chief technology officer of Bahamas-based cryptocurrency exchange FTX. He's an alumnus of MIT and worked at search engine giant Google. At MIT, Wang studied mathematics and computer science. He participated in various technology products while obtaining his undergraduate degree, including coding his team's robot for MIT's Mobile Autonomous Systems Laboratory competition. He graduated in 2015 with a bachelor's degree in math and computer sciences and went on to be a software engineer at search engine Google, where he formulated systems that were meant to aggregate prices for millions of flights. Wang later teamed up with fellow billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried in 2019 to introduce FTX. Built by traders for traders, FTX is a cryptocurrency exchange where traders can buy and sell crypto derivatives. Gary Wang's 16% stake in the company is valued at $5.12 billion as of 2022, as the company recently raised $400 million at an enterprise value of $32 billion. At number 8, Ryan Breslow, 28 years old, $2 billion. Another newcomer on the youngest billionaires list in 2022 is 28-year-old Ryan Breslow, the executive chairman of payment startup company Bolt. Back in 2014, Ryan Breslow dropped out of Stanford University to introduce the payment startup company Bolt. This year, he stepped down from the post of CEO to become executive chairman. Breslow has raised cumulative funds of over $1.3 billion for his company, and recently, the company raised $355 million at a valuation of $11 billion. Breslow also does yoga, meditation, and dancing. He introduced the concept of a 4-day work week for his 700-plus employees. They must be the happiest employees in the world. Ryan Breslow is also a co-founder of Eco, a digital cryptocurrency platform, a co-founder of Love, a crypto-pharmaceutical startup, as well as the founder of the dance nonprofit, The Movement. At number 7, Austin Russell, 27 years old, $1.4 billion. At number 7 is Austin Russell, founder and CEO of Luminar Technologies, Inc., an automatic sensor firm that was listed on the stock exchange in 2020 in a SPAC merger. Russell developed the idea for Luminar at the age of 17 and now runs the company. At 17, I was probably still playing around. After receiving a Thiel Fellowship Scholarship of $100,000, he decided to drop out of college in 2012. After the company listing on NASDAQ, Austin Russell became the youngest self-made billionaire at the age of 25. Luminar faces business competition from companies such as Velodyne and AIVA, which make high-tech sensors. Russell's wealth declined from $2.4 billion to $1.6 billion as the stock price of Luminar fell, but he remains one of the youngest billionaires in the world. At number 6, Katharina Anderson, 27 years old, $1.1 billion. In 2016, Katharina Anderson entered the list of youngest billionaires in the world as the second youngest billionaire. Today, she's 27 years old and has a net worth of $1.1 billion, equal to the amount her sister Alexandra Anderson, who we'll talk about later in this video. Katharina and her younger sister each received a 42% stake in Ferd, the Ferd family's investing firm. Their father, Johan Anderson, still runs the multi-billion-dollar investment company and controls 70% of the votes via a dual class share structure. Although she's from Oslo, Norway, Katharina did get her graduation from Amsterdam University College, where she's believed to have studied social science. At number 5, Enrique Dubergas, 26 years old, $1.5 billion. At number 5 is yet another newcomer who joined this list in 2022. 26-year-old Enrique Dubergas is co-CEO of Brex, along with Pedro Franceschi, another newcomer that we'll be talking about later in the video. Brex is a fintech company that specializes in the business of corporate credit cards. In 2013, Enrique Dubergas and co-founder Pedro Franceschi launched a payment startup called Pagar.me for small businesses in Brazil. However, they sold it to a larger Brazilian rival 2 years later. Dubergas, who grew up in Sao Paulo, Brazil, studied at Stanford but later dropped out to start Brex in 2017. Wait a minute, it looks like dropping out is the first step to becoming a billionaire. Let me note that down. This year, the 26-year-old Brazilian made it into the Billionaires list as Brex raised funds from private investors that valued the company at $12.3 billion. At number 4, Alexandra Anderson, 26 years old, $1.1 billion. Owner of 42% of the investment company Ferd, another 26-year-old Alexandra Anderson sits at number 4 with a net worth of $1.1 billion. In 2016, Alexandra Anderson became the youngest billionaire in the world at the age of 19, when she and her elder sister Katharina inherited a 42% stake each in their family-owned investment company, Ferd. Alexandra would then go on to hold the position of the youngest billionaire on the Forbes list for 3 consecutive years. Ferd, the family's owned investment company that Alexandra and her sister Katharina each inherited a 42% stake, runs hedge funds. The company is also an active investor in the Nordic Stock Exchange. Alexandra also has multiple awards and honors in horse dressage competitions and modeled many times for equestrian clothing company Kingsland. At number 3, Wang Zhilong, 26-year-old, $1.6 billion. 26-year-old Wang Zhilong, who has a $1.6 billion net worth, is the third youngest billionaire in the world and the youngest billionaire in Asia. The young Chinese has stakes in several companies that are engaged in the business of production of titanium dioxide in China. Wang distinguishes himself from the other New Age billionaires by being in the niche segment of pigment production. There isn't a lot of information about him on the internet, as he has maintained a very private life like his other fellow billionaires. He likes to maintain a bare minimal digital footprint, as he doesn't even have an official social media account. Weird. At number 2, Pedro Franceschi, 26 years old, $1.5 billion. At number 2 is another newcomer who joined in this list in 2022. Pedro Franceschi is co-CEO of Brex, a fintech company that specializes in the business of corporate credit cards. In 2021, Pedro met co-founder Enrique Dubergas on Twitter while they're studying in high school in their home country of Brazil. In 2013, the duo introduced a payment startup company, Pagar.me, which was later sold to a rival company in 2015. In 2017, Pedro started Brex, and this year he made it to the Billionaires list as Brex raised funds from private investors that valued the company at $12.3 billion. And at number 1, Kevin David Lehman, 20 years old, $1.7 billion. At 20 years old and worth a net worth of $1.7 billion, Kevin David Lehman sits at the top of the list of youngest billionaires in the world in 2022. Not only is he the richest on this list, he's also the youngest. Lehman owns a majority stake of 50% in DM Drogerie Market. DM, as it's popularly called, is Germany's leading drugstore chain with annual revenue of over $12 billion. The company started its operations in 1973, when Getz Werner inaugurated its first shop in Karlsruhe, Germany. As of 2022, DM has 3,700 stores in different locations. In 1974, Kevin David Lehman's father, Gunther Lehman, invested in DM and transferred his ownership to his son in 2017 when he was still 14. However, it remained in the trust until Kevin turned 18. According to Forbes, as of 2021, neither Kevin David Lehman nor his father are actively involved in the company, and little is known about them. Both father and son have managed to keep a low profile on the internet. And there you have it, the top 10 youngest billionaires in the world in 2022. Which net worth and age surprised you the most? Share in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next video.